Hey all, X-Art student here. So, I was scrolling on Instagram and I found this really cool pocket locket jewelry box creator with miniature little art pieces in all of these cute little containers. They're all by this artist, Magic Marker Dreamweaver, and I was inspired, so I had to find my own little jewelry box locket. And I actually found it at Hobby Lobby. I found this little container and I thought of my sister. She's really into nature, flowers, butterflies, anything like that. And I thought, why not create a cute little world for her? So I gave this to her as a birthday present in January, but I was like, I do have to take it back because I didn't have time to finish a little pocket world. So if you let me take it back, I'll make it really cool and then give it back to you. Luckily, she was totally down. I was trying to think of different ideas of what to put into this butterfly. I thought of, well, she likes butterflies, mushrooms, fairies, stars, and I had to try narrowing it down because it's a tiny little container with only tiny little details. And mind you, I'm not very good at doing tiny details like this. I cannot cut very well, I cannot draw tiny like that, so this was definitely a challenge. I'm creating the backgrounds for the top portion of the butterfly and the bottom portion. The top is going to be the sky, the bottom will be the ground. Whether I put stars or flowers or mushrooms, not sure yet, but I figured if I got a base, it'd be easier to build off of. When I first made this piece, I figured it'd be a daytime scene with a little sun, some flowers, maybe some mushrooms, and I wound up taking a big break from this because I had other pieces I had to work on, as well as preparing for the art market that I was a part of. So taking that little step back definitely helped me with this process for what I actually wanted on this butterfly. I wanted this piece to look warm and familiar. My sister loves the color purple, so I had to include it. Once I finished sketching out a bunch of pieces, I took it to my cutting mat and brought out my scissors and my X-Acto knife to start cutting all of the edges. Once I cut out the background of the piece, I had to glue it down. So I'm just using some simple glue and pushing it down the best I can. It didn't have to be perfect because it's just the background, and I could paint over or fill in little spots where I need. Then I moved on to my chunks of green. There's different colors in it because it's actually going to be the grass blades. And I feel like grass isn't only one color. Sometimes you have dead grass, sometimes you have more rich, dark green grass. And I thought it would just add to the piece having a bunch of little colors in it. Even though I traced the butterfly, it doesn't mean it will fit properly, especially with pushing it into a 3D shape. Cutting these flowers was very tedious. I find I'm not very good at curved pieces. A lot of my flowers turned out very angular, but I don't think you could notice it as much when it was in the final grass bed. Little did I know, this is where I would have my stopping point. Things eventually slowed down, and now it's time to start again with new ideas. I decided, heck with the sun, let's go with the moon. I wanted a nighttime sky. Also, I wasn't too happy with how the sun turned out, and it was actually really huge and would not have fit in the butterfly very well. So I tried making these little clouds and moon to make it more appropriate for the space. And now that I had new eyes on this project, I looked back at Magic Marker's different pieces, and I saw that she put in a little lake sometimes and had a raised section of the locket. So I decided, why not try it? This is me trying it, and this is me failing at it. I was so excited for these little bell-shaped flowers, but like I said, I cannot do tiny details like this, nor curve it well. Maybe in the future I need to use a Cricut. Next, I got to work on my night sky. I was most excited for this because I love little moons and stars, so it was fun being able to customize this little scene. Now it's time to move on to the blades of grass. I had a ton of them, fortunately, so I decided let's tackle this by doing the whole rim of the butterfly and then focus on getting little blades on the inside afterwards. I figured cover up some of the gold on the inner part of the butterfly, and then it will create cool texture when I close the piece. Hopefully the grass will be curled around the meadow, and it should be good. A lot of this took some maneuvering, tweezers, using the toothpick, a lot of just placement and being patient. Like I said before, when I close this piece, the blades of grass are going to curl along the meadow. So it was important it wasn't just white, so I quickly colored in some of the blades that were showing, and then went right to the stars. I sprinkled a few star dots as well as star shapes around the sky in this gold paint marker, and then eventually went back in with a glow-in-the-dark paint. I decided in the meadow I should do little dots of color. I've seen Casey Golden do this really successfully, so I thought it would add cool texture. When I look back at this, I am so not happy I did it. And here, I thought I was finished. I took pictures, I took final video shots, close-ups. I thought it was done. Even though I didn't really like it, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna give my sister something pretty ugly. So I took a break from it and then decided I could go back and fix it. I went in with different shades of blue and covered up all of those stars. There was too many, it wasn't spaced well, and I feel like the sizes didn't vary enough. The different shades of blue and purple really added to the dimension, and I feel like it gives it that classic cloudy, starry space feel that you see in pictures. I'm placing these stars very delicately so then I could have really tiny stars and then big stars. I think that's what I was missing in my last attempt at this. I went into the meadow as well with some green, just to cover up some of my mistakes, whether it was the dotted flowers or I just needed to liven up the space with some bright green. I thought I was done, and then I decided to add some grass to the front of the painting, I guess, like the top part. I think it gives it more of dimension, and I think it ties the piece together well. Now it's time for those close-up shots. Thanks guys, catch you next time. Bye!